So you guys are known as the movement, right? Is that right?
Little Rock Carbon is our organization name.
Okay,
Yes.
okay. Little Rock Carbon.
Yes,
And
in that sense, community activists rebuilding our nation.
so tell me what the past 6 days have been like for you all.
Um, it's been very intense. It's been very emotional. It's been very monumental, and I can say that we've made a lot of strides and progressions in the right direction. I can say that. Yes.
But you guys have also been in danger, death threats. Kind of talk about that.
Yes, I think almost every last one of us standing here has received some sort of death threat, or multiple death threats, just from different people, different groups of people. We also have been harassed by the police officers, and by the DEA. So yeah, we've all pretty much been going through something.
How hard is that when you guys are just trying to simply convey a message? You're tired of what's going on. We've had enough.
Exactly. It's very hard because we stand out there, and we know we're doing the right things, and we're certain that we're doing all of the right things, and yet somehow we're still reprimanded for even doing the right things and practicing what we know is our right to do. We know what's being wrong and what's being done wrong in this country. We know what is also right. So the fact that we are being punished even for doing the right thing is absurd to me. Is absurd.
So you guys met with the governor today. It was closed to the media. How was the meeting?
It was very, 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 very intense. I can say that there was a lot of hurt people in that room who wanted to convey a message, and who wanted the governor to see from their perspective, from our perspective, who wanted him to just take a second and literally put himself in our shoes. So it was a very intense meeting.
Was anything accomplished? Did you guys reach a goal or come to terms on anything with the governor?
We got to meet a lot of like-minded individuals so that we can come together and continue to enact and do what it is that we need to do. Whether it's with the support or without the support, we're still going to continue, and now we can all come together better to continue to grow.
Yeah, I think that's the one thing that did get accomplished
That
was
is.
that he realized that we are going to be united together. That we had people there who were from Conway, we had people there who were from Hot Springs, Fort Smith,
Van Buren.
from everywhere. So I think the one thing it got accomplished is that he knows that this is a statewide thing and that people are not going to stop. We're all going to continue to use our voice no matter what. We need to have these things changed because our community can't handle it anymore. We need a change.
And he even mentioned that this is a different generation. It's not the old generation that he's accustomed to. We really want to know what he meant by that. He mentioned that he would only meet with a certain group of us. We want to know why not all of us? Like what is your agenda, and why would you come out and tell the media that we all agreed that we wanted our protesters arrested? None of us in that room, of the 20
Even said
organizers that were there, the 20 members of leadership that were there, no one ever said that. And we have to put that out there, because we don't want our protesters, we don't want our supporters to think that we're selling them out. We don't want them to think that we're not behind them. We're standing for them 10 toes down. And our governor is deliberately trying to keep us divided.
Well, he also said that it's very important to understand how angry, frustrated, and disappointed you all are with the recent protests and how police
No,
have handled
we're not.
the response.
We're not upset with the protests. The protests were beautiful. It was amazing, a coming of togetherness. We're upset with the treatment. So say if I'm here to protect you, I'm not going to face you with my weapon this way. I'm going to turn around and I'm going to take the opposing threat, and I'm going to take that first contact. We didn't have that. We didn't have any of that solidarity with us to protect us. And then when we exercise our Second Amendment right to go ahead and self-defense and arm ourselves, which we're allowed to do because other protesters have done that at the Capitol, nothing is said. We are attacked. We are pulled over. I don't know how you can illegally park, but not even get pulled over. We don't even get to get out the car. We're stopped by state troopers, then local. And then we're told after a lie, I'm like, you can have my information. I have no problem, but don't lie to me to get it. If you want my information, to say, hey, we need your information. Okay, don't lie and say you were illegally parked and we want the passenger's information. I wasn't driving. I was the passenger. And they demanded us get out the car so that they could get our information, and I refused. No, I need to know why I'm giving you my information and who I'm giving it to. So if I'm giving you my information, who am I giving it to? Can I give it directly to that person? No, that was the answer. And we just want to understand, and we want us to all come together, and we want us to heal. We want this nation to heal. We want our city to heal first, and we want to be the blueprint for the nation in order to do that. But we have to have our governor work with us in order to do that. I feel like he wanted to be there, he wanted to listen, but I don't think he was listening to understand and process what we were saying. He was listening to respond and say, okay, well, I've dealt with it.
He wanted to pacify the media, basically. And I think that he's really afraid to go against the grain. He's afraid to go against those that support him. He doesn't want to lose. For him, it's political, it's financial. He doesn't want to lose that backing. And he showed us that today. Every question that we asked, he diverted from. I mean, it took him
It took an hour and a half to get us.
just to get us.
Yes.
Yes.
Your peaceful citizens that were unarmed, had no riot gear, any type of protection. Was it wrong to shoot us with tear gas? It took an hour and a half to get a final no. And we kept saying, hey, all we're asking is you to acknowledge, say, I'm sorry, and I'm going to do better. That took another hour and a half to get. I don't understand why it would take that long. If I do something wrong to somebody, I don't teach my children that. If they're fighting amongst each other, I make them apologize immediately and admit what it is and own up to their responsibilities. You don't have to say I'm sorry, but acknowledge and say I apologize and I'll do better because I want to be a better person. And that's what we're saying. We want to be better people together, and we want to grow together. And us here, we're keeping this city together and keeping it from ending up like those other riots. And we want him to understand that without this cohesiveness here and these people here and us coming together all over the state, we would have mass anarchy, and we are trying to avoid that and do everything we can. Right. So we need your protection, we need your help, we need your voice, we need you to speak to everyone and be a leader that it is that you're asking and wanting, and that you voted us and asked us to vote for you to be. You asked for this leadership position, so you need to ascertain and you need to continue to do it, because guess what? Regardless, you're going to continue to be a leader whether you're in that office or not. You still have sway.
I think the one thing that really resonated with me was the fact that he was trying to devise us.
Yes.
We clearly stated that he said he wanted a committee of our fellow people who were there in the room to talk, and we said several times, why not have all of us? Why not have all of us in the room? Why, we are all here right now, we're in different parts of the city. Why not have all of us?
Okay.
And he basically said he can't do that. We can only have a couple, which makes no sense since we were all together.
Right.
So,
Right.
And also at the very end, he talked about having a executive order to have police reform and more training on not diversion, what's the word I'm looking for?
13 weeks of having empathy and having pretty much cultural immersion training and understanding what it is that they're doing.
Diffusing situations, that's the word I was looking for.
Yeah.
De-escalating. He said that was what he was going to do for that, and one particular person in the room had mentioned that, and he said that he was going to give it to that person and the one next to him. And I said publicly to him, why not give it to us all? And he ignored that statement. So we think he's trying to devise us, and we need to come together as a community, because that's the only way anything's going to get done. Right. We all have voices, we all have different communities we're trying to represent, but we're all doing the same cause. So bring us together and don't try to divide us.
Right, and not only that, our governor, he has a way of showing blatant disrespect. I mentioned to him about how when some of the leaders were speaking, the faces he made at them, he interrupted them when they spoke, and we had to immediately say, hey, that's not okay. And we let him know that a man is only as good as his word. You know, your word is always your bond, and he's gone back on his word several times. How can we have confidence in you? We understand that he's looking to run for president in the 2024 election. How can we have confidence in someone who's always going back on their word? You're going to have to show us. You're going to have to stand with us. We asked for him to come out and stand in solidarity with us, with our mayor, with our chief. Show us that you believe that Black lives matter. Show us that if all lives matter, that you honestly believe that Black Lives Matter and stand with us, and he skirted around the entire dialogue. I mean, and he did that over and over. Like, he continuously just wouldn't answer our questions. He was basically acting like a politician.
So you guys are giving me some good stuff. I don't know how I'm gonna get all this in there. He said that you guys wanted to take steps to address the criminal justice system, training of police, and accountability of police. So is this a step that you guys want
Yeah,
to see?
we want it
Yes.
bipartisan, well, actually tripartisan police reformation. We want to have a party of the people, 3 people. We want to have their peers, and we want to have also part of the state, part of our mayors, our governors come together and help police them, and not just do it internally. We want to make sure that the police are held accountable. If you have a complaint, if you get a certain number of complaints, you lose your license. Being in any position, if you're a lawyer, a realtor, whatever, you have state licensure and board that you have to adhere to. If you get a complaint, you have to respond to that complaint, and if you're found in trouble with that complaint, you get fined up to a certain amount of times and you lose your license. Well, the same mandate needs to be stated for our Little Rock police, our state police also. They need to be held responsible for their actions, because if we walk up and do something, we're held responsible immediately. Them, on the other hand, it takes 15 years of bureaucratic red tape in order to get something enacted and done. If they get charged, they might get arrested, but the charges might not stick. That's not right.
So when you guys meet with him again down the road,
Hopefully within the next 2 weeks.
you want everybody from your group to be there, not
Yes.
just a
Yes.
handful of people.
Everybody
We want a
from
public forum.
yes,
We
We
want
want you to be
public
there. We
forum.
want you to be there. We want a
the
public
people
forum.
to be there.
That was
We
the
want them
first
to
thing
hear.
we said.
It never should have been closed. It never should have been in a controlled setting. He does things so that he can control the narrative, so that he can say, well, this is what was said, because at that point there's no accountability. It's literally our word against his word. And because he has so many people backing him, they tend to take his word. Well, like we told him, this isn't just about us. This is about our city. This is about our state. You're not just the governor of us. You're the governor of the state of Arkansas, which means you have to be held accountable for everyone. So everyone needs to be included in this.
yes.
I mean, do you guys think he's gonna
Hope.
change?
We hope.
Hopefully.
We're hopeful because he did meet with us.
That says
We
a
are
lot.
hopeful.
That says a lot right there, that he actually even took the time to meet with us. Even though he may not have seen common ground or eye to eye, or he may not really truly understand where we were coming from with a lot of things, he actually took the time to meet with us. And for that, we are grateful for it. And we are very, very grateful for that.
And
Yes.
appreciative.
And
Some
appreciative.
things that he's not understanding.
It was, yes, it was a lot,
It's
a
lot
whole
that he
lot of
doesn't
things
understand.
that he
It's a
doesn't
cultural
grip.
delay,
Yes.
and we're wanting him to. If you want to help bridge the gap, you need to be with us, and we need to be with you. You can't do it with just 2, because we're all different. We all have different backgrounds, and our city is very diverse, which is amazing and beautiful. It's a melting pot, and in order for us to bridge that gap culturally, he needs to be with us all the time.
He needs to be with us, and that was like one of the biggest things that we asked of him, is just take your politics out of this for a second. Step back, take your politics out of this for a second. You speak with your heart, be human. And he couldn't even do that. He couldn't simply just do that. He couldn't simply look us in our face like, I'm sorry for what you are going through. I'm sorry that the world is beating you down. He couldn't even do that to us. It was all political.
Until after
Yes.
an hour and a half of berating.
It wasn't
and
even
asking
then.
for it.
Even then, he still didn't even acknowledge the fact of who we are and what we stand for. All he kept saying is, I appreciate you. I appreciate you, which I understand. Yes, you do. But for 1 minute, be a human. Don't be our governor. Be a human. Be one-to-one with us, and that's all we were asking, is because we've been dealing with this stuff for years and centuries, and now one person has sat down and just said, and that's empowering, said, hey, I'm so sorry that you're dealing with this. He may not fully understand, but he's not there with us on that level. And that's what we need from him more than ever.
What I encourage the governor to do is go out to our different cities there in our state that are having these protests and just listen to the people. Just listen to them. Don't speak. Just listen to the stories, because the stories we have heard, that's what's keeping us going. That's what's keeping us fighting, because people are hurting, still hurting. And I just encourage him to go out to these protests, because most of them are peaceful, very peaceful. Just go out and listen. Just listen. Not even if you not want to be seen. Just go and actually listen, so you can.
Or use the drones that you have already listening. Go ahead and use those and actually listen to what we're saying. You don't even have to come down there. Use drones right there. Just watch it on your phone like you're doing any other time. Give us 15 minutes out your day.